Now we're going to get to the nitty gritty, and we are going to be talking about AJ Styles. Yes, AJ Styles. It looks like AJ Styles is set to retire. Yeah, it looks like AJ Styles is officially going to be retiring, not only from WWE, but from professional wrestling entirely. And honestly, man, I'm very afraid because, 2026 just started, and the fact that AJ Styles is retiring this early on is ridiculous. Now, we were all questioning as to why would they book Gunther versus AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble with AJ's career on the line. Now, AJ did say last year at the Crown Jewel kickoff show, or the press conference, whatever you want to call it, right before, roughly a couple hours, or I believe a day before his match against John Cena, which by the way was an amazing match, that in 2026 he was going to retire. Everybody was like, oh wow, AJ's going to be retiring, but as you guys all know, AJ's getting up there in age. He doesn't do a lot of the things that he used to do back in the day, but still, AJ Styles is AJ Styles. He's in one of the best. He's arguably like in phenomenal, no pun intended, phenomenal shape, and he can still do a lot of things, just not a lot of things that he used to do. But AJ Styles definitely, decided, 2026 is the year that I'm going to be retiring, and he flat out stated that at the Crown Jewel kickoff show. That's exactly what he stated. So everybody expected AJ Styles to retire in 2026, but nobody expected AJ Styles to retire this early on. Everybody was questioning, why is AJ putting his career on the line at the Royal Rumble? Then we started getting reports about his contract, and apparently AJ Styles' contract expires roughly in the beginning of February. Around February, that's when his contract is up. I know some other people were even saying that on the Undertaker's podcast that AJ's contract was up like within late 2026. A lot of information, was going out there. But then we got this leak by Shinsuke Nakamura, and I'm going to pull up this leak right here on the podcast for you guys to all see. Now, Shinsuke Nakamura on his Instagram page posted this on his Instagram story, but he quickly deleted it because it's very revealing. And he stated this, and I quote, "During last year's Australian tour at a house show in Melbourne, Australia, AJ gave me a speech after the match. Listening to it, it was clear that he was thanking the fans, but somehow it also felt like he was hinting that retirement might not be that far away. The tour continued in Japan, and before the shows there, I asked him something. We were in a van on the way to the meet and greet, and I asked him, 'When are you going to retire?' And he answered, 'The Royal Rumble. I've already decided.' And of course, he responded in a very shocking manner. Whether I actually said it out loud or just thought for a split second, I'm not sure, but I remember it clearly. Before you retire, I want to wrestle you one more time." AJ nodded. Before the match started, he showed me something that he had written on his phone, and it was a message that he wanted to say to the Japanese fans. He asked me to turn it into proper Japanese. It talked about his anxiety and excitement when he first came to Japan, and his gratitude towards Japan for accepting him. It was, without question, a farewell message. At his voice, I gave that speech in Japanese, putting as much emotion into it as I possibly could. That was the moment when his retirement finally started to feel real to me. Even though it was still a little further down the road compared to guys like Cena or Tanahashi, and of course, John Cena retired in December. A couple of weeks ago, Hiroshi Tanahashi retired at Wrestle Kingdom in Tokyo, Japan at the Tokyo Dome. I found myself imagining the enormous sense of loss that would eventually come. 10 years ago, 2016, the Tokyo Dome. It was our first ever singles match. And of course, that match was later praised all over the world. And not long after, we both left New Japan Pro Wrestling and came to WWE. We never talked about our futures with each other. I think we just happened to make huge decisions at the same time. In America, I was just pushing forward without thinking. I finished NXT and reunited with AJ on the main roster. AJ, on the other hand, took over WWE like a fish in water. He brought a new wind elsewhere he went. He brought a new wind everywhere he went, and honestly, I remember thinking, yeah, that figures. A reunion moment at Money in the Bank, my Royal Rumble victory, and then our singles match at WrestleMania. I don't think any of that would have happened if AJ had pushed it. I still have some regrets about what happened after our WrestleMania match, but that final match of that rivalry, our singles match at Money in the Bank in Detroit, is actually one of my favorite matches even so. He's straightforward, easy to read, and impossible to hate. His everyday clothes are terrible, and he's got that Southern American accent. What a lovely American. And yet when it comes to professional wrestling, his balance of expression and technique is the best in the world. Truly one of a kind. And I don't say it out loud, but I rely on him. I respect him. And even though we don't actually know each other as deeply as people might think, to me, he is special, almost like a brother and a best friend in my own way. And now our final match awaits, my last chance to give him the perfect send-off. Do your best, me, and pro wrestling gods. Please be kind. That was the message that Shinsuke Nakamura put out on his Instagram story. And the big telling thing that we read on that whole note the day before that Shinsuke Nakamura posted on his Instagram page was the fact that he's officially going to be retiring at the Royal Rumble. What are my thoughts on this? I'm not going to sit here and say that this is the wrong move to make, because at the end of the day, it's AJ's career, and AJ has every right to do what he wants to do. He is able to write his own story. I don't care what anybody says. He is able to write his story the way that he wants to. And if he wants to retire at the Royal Rumble, let him retire at the Royal Rumble. Now, as a fan, to me, it kind of sucks because I was definitely looking forward to a bunch of matches this year building up to AJ's retirement. We're only weeks into 2026 and we're already getting AJ Styles in his last match, most likely against Gunther in Saudi Arabia at the Royal Rumble. Does it make sense from a creative standpoint? No, it doesn't, because again, AJ putting his career on the line against Gunther it was the most out of nowhere thing you'd possibly see. It came like right out of the blue. It was weird. Like, why is AJ putting his career on the line now? Why is he putting his career on the line now? Is his contract really up in February? We're going to have to wait and see. If you watched the TNA show last Thursday, the debut show, one of the things that you saw on that show was AJ Styles in a backstage segment with Frankie Kazarian. And he literally looked at the TNA World Heavyweight title. To me, the stuff that I got out of that was, oh my God, what if they have AJ Styles go after the TNA World Championship further on down the line? We're probably not going to be seeing that this year because AJ is already going to be retired. Who knows? Now, with the reports of AJ's contract being up, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. Not only that, there's been a lot of speculation of AJ possibly going to AEW. Now, granted, again, it is his last, 2026 is his last year. But as much as I would love for AJ Styles to be in AEW, I don't think Tony would want AJ Styles for 1 year. You know what I'm saying? But again, AJ wants to do what he wants to do when it comes to his career. But I mean, if you look at AEW, AEW, the possibilities are endless in terms of the amount of matches that AJ Styles can have. Now, granted, he's a little older, he's a little slower, but he's still phenomenal. Okay, he's still amazing at his age. Guys like Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Josh Alexander. Man, there's so many possibilities. But after this Instagram story that Shinsuke Nakamura put out came to fruition, most likely he's not going to AEW. And honestly, I don't think AJ Styles wants to go to AEW. I'm being brutally honest. I do not think AJ Styles wants to go to AEW. I think he is a WWE lifer. At this point, he is a WWE lifer. He is. He is. You know, he's been in TNA longer, I believe for 11 years. This year marks 10 that he's been in WWE, but AJ Styles is a WWE lifer. He is. And he flat out stated that. He flat out stated, you know, when I retire, I still want to work with WWE in some capacity. You can't blame him for that. You cannot blame him for that. You can't. You can't. But as a fan, it sucks, man. We're about to lose AJ. Like this early on in 2026. Like I knew, me and a lot of other fans knew that AJ was set to retire, but we didn't expect him to retire this early on in the year. Everybody expected maybe the summer, maybe even WrestleMania, but I mean, I don't know. It's something sounds fishy, but most likely AJ Styles is set to retire at the Royal Rumble. It sucks as a fan, but if AJ wants to go out that way, I totally respect it. AJ, in my opinion, is one of the greatest wrestlers of the modern era of professional wrestling. I genuinely believe that. AJ, I mean, he doesn't call himself phenomenal for no reason. Like, there is a reason why he is called the phenomenal AJ Styles. He's done a lot of things that like back then, a lot of the stuff that he used to do, you know, a lot of fans didn't even fathom a wrestler could possibly do. Like, if you watched AJ Styles in the early years of TNA, I mean, some of the stuff that he did was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And from an in-ring standpoint, from throughout the 2000s and even the mid-2010s, before AJ made the jump to WWE, AJ Styles, when he, you know, was, you know, doing a lot of his when he went to Japan after he left TNA, which, by the way, TNA foolishly decided to give AJ Styles a pay cut, which to this day baffles me. But that was TNA back then. TNA was a foolish company. I mean, they still kind of are foolish, but it is what it is. But they gave him a pay cut, and AJ Styles were like, no, I'm not taking a pay cut. And I respect that. He goes to Japan, and he essentially makes a name for himself, not only as a part of the Bullet Club, but as a prominent figure of, at the time, Japanese wrestling. And he brought a lot of people into New Japan Pro Wrestling during that period of time. Brought a lot of people to New Japan Pro Wrestling that never watched New Japan Pro Wrestling. And he established himself as one of the best wrestlers in the world. And then he makes the jump to WWE, and I don't care what anybody says, AJ Styles had one of the best debut years that any wrestler coming into WWE has had. You can put him on par with Kurt Angle. AJ Styles and Kurt Angle had phenomenal debut years. Like within, 8-9 months with AJ being in WWE, he already captured the WWE title. Had banger matches with John Cena. I was there for one of them, SummerSlam 2016. One of my best experiences going to a wrestling show, by the way. Granted, it was my first, but still. I got to witness a dream match, AJ Styles versus John Cena in person. It was crazy. Granted, I got the higher seats, the nosebleeds, but still, who cares? I still got to witness it. And now AJ Styles is set to retire. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how time flies, but hey, man. Respect to AJ. Even though as a fan I disagree with it, I can't really just I can't sit here and say, I can't sit here and tell AJ what he wants to do. But I will say it has come out of nowhere. And from what it looks like, his match against Gunther is going to be his last match.